This is why our practice tonight will not be intense, and why a lot of kids are worked very, very hard, but they just don't seem to get better. Well, tonight we're working a couple of our leg attack defense tricks, how to counter an elbow trap from a crackdown, a Russian spin, and head transfers, bundling the arms. Maybe a leg pass too. This is a younger group, so that may not be the case with these guys. We're going to play that by ear. Okay, and also leg riding defense. We're going to get into that. The other stuff will go quick because this is our second practice on that this week. So it's kind of like a review of a review. Okay, then leg riding tricks. Like, for example, I'm trying to lock my opponent down from their hip smash and they're blocking us. So we're gonna elbow block, wrist block, and over attack, and then a couple of counters to leg riding counters. So this stuff is not intense. It's like tinkering. It's all technique. Intense is on your feet. I blow the whistle, you drop your level. I blow the whistle again, you hit a high cross to a double, right? That's intense. I love those practices too. Kids are going hard. Parents love it, and the coach feels like, man, I ran a great kick-ass practice tonight. Yeah, but who can't do that? I blow the whistle, you hit a snap down and run the corner, or snap down, go behind. Go. Okay, that's pretty easy stuff. Now, let's work our counters to counters. My opponent hip smashes, and I'm trying to lock him down, and he or she is trying to wrap, and so I have my over attack with two counters and maybe an elbow block or a wrist block. Okay, technical stuff. You're on your hip. It's not intense. Imagine jumping on your knees and just working your single leg finish. I knew a guy, he was at a big training camp at the Olympic Training Center, and he said, dude, for an hour and 45 minutes, all we worked on our high crotch, partner sprawls a little bit, and we stepped a deep left leg, and we used our head and our ear to try to shift their weight slightly to their right hand, or if you're left hand, if they're right-handed, before we changed off. He's like, that's all we did, and it was the most amazing practice. See, some coaches can't do that because they're like, we got to work them hard. And some parents won't do that either. I've had parents quit. They're like, their mentality is, I'm not paying for this. My kid's not puking. I don't want to do it. You're taking my money. And I'm like, okay, bye-bye. This is not for you. So is our practice tonight going to be intense? No. I remember years ago at Oklahoma State, we were doing morning practices like at 7 in the morning. And all we were practicing was, our modified, kind of like a spiral ride, getting a hammer lock, putting the arm behind their back, turning them against their will. And it was pretty technical stuff. And the fourth practice, like a Thursday, Joe C was like, okay, guys, I had a cup of coffee there. We weren't even sweating, but man, I honestly felt like I was getting better, but I didn't realize until he pointed it out. He's like, who's tired? Nobody. Who's exhausted? Whose legs are trashed? Nobody. Who's breathing heavy? Nobody. Who sweated off 4 pounds? Nobody. Who feels like they got better today? And we all raised our hand. Or this week. And then, interestingly enough, my brother was getting beat by the OU guy in a dual meet like that Saturday or Sunday or something, and got a reversal, put his arm behind his back, and ended up turning him a couple of times and beating him. And I was like, okay, so the technical side of wrestling does work. And what interesting was, because growing up, I talked about being dangerous. I want to be dangerous. I want to be dangerous, technically dangerous. I love drilling. Some kids hate drilling. I don't understand it. I love drilling. I love technique. I love learning. All my wrestling techniques were taped in the basement around my little homemade wrestling room. Me and my brother would go down there for hours and just drill. We hardly went live because we would fist fight. That just didn't work for us. I'd go months without going live. But I love the technique side of wrestling. And then we get to Oklahoma State, and that was their approach too. Sure, toughness, sure, conditioning, sure, you got to want it and be tough, mean, and hardcore. I get it, all that, but also technical. Like John Smith used to say, if you can't keep me off your left leg, you can't beat me. I don't care how bad you want it. I don't care how tough you are, how many times you can run bleachers without throwing up. I don't care. I don't care. You will not beat me. If you can't keep me off your left leg, you can't beat me. Very simple. So that's a different philosophy, right? And that's been our philosophy. I kind of fell into as a kid, did it through high school, get into Oklahoma State, same philosophy. I was there for 5 years, actually 6. I gray shirted. We won the NCAA title 3 times. So I've been on 3 national championship teams. Was All-American. My brother was NCAA champ. I had the #1 ranking in the nation twice. So, you know, I've experienced success with that. And we've probably built the largest privately owned largest wrestling academy in America. We'll have 500 athletes once high school season ends here in about 3 weeks. We have 385 training with us every week now. But that's our philosophy. And that is why our practice tonight will not be intense. And that's why it's very, very smart that we're not going to have an intense practice. Because we are becoming skilled and dangerous. And you know, what is it? Almost February 2024. We've had 37 of our athletes sign Division I scholarships from our academy. It does not include camps. From our academy, our hardcore weekly guys, and just in the past 2.5 years. So, you know, take this approach. If you want a template to follow, you need to get our online academy. It's like $275 to join, $20 a month. I'd give it to you for free, but it costs $34,000 to build it. I've got $2,000 a month I got to spend to Lightspeed just to host it for me and add costs. So, you know, I mean, things cost money. I don't know, you know. If I'm spending $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year just marketing and hosting it, I can't give it to you for free. Maybe one day when I'm a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, I'll give everything away for free. But at this point in time, I can't. It just doesn't work that way. But, you know, if it's worth it to you, get it. And don't get it. Do not buy that if you're not going to use it. I don't want your money. I want you to buy it and change your freaking life. This year, these online academy members made the world team. Stevan Mishik was a world champion. Nick Lee, he came to our camps and academy and online academy. Actually, they were DVDs back then. Zane Richards made the world team also. That's the third one. He was a academy member, came to camps, and his dad used our DVDs back in the day. Now it's an online academy. Colton Schultz got my DVDs, started homeschooling, trained on my DVD system. And Jared Bronigal went to... was an academy member and a camper who lived just, you know, an hour away from here. So that's 5 Team USA World Team members who have, you know, utilized our system since they were little kids and trained with us for, you know, 6 to 8 years, some of them. And am I the only reason? No. Is our program the only reason? No. They had other great coaches, other great, all of it. But it's a vital piece of the puzzle, and they will tell you to this day that it was a vital piece of the puzzle, you know. And I still stay in close contact with 4 out of those 5 guys, and some of them come do camps at our gym and so forth. So our online academy is something that will blow your mind. You should get it. Now, if you're a high school coach or a youth coach, our basics phase and phase 1 are practice plans. Print them, tape them to the wall, use them. Phase 2 and phase 3, don't even look at it. That's for home use, for the kids who want to become, you know, the most technical wrestler in America. Sounds very arrogant, but I will tell you, if you master the basics through phase 3, you'll probably go to wrestling camps and clinics, and you'll know more than 90% of the clinicians at these things. So it's a good way to take your training into your own hand, but I want you to use it. Hit 30 reps of a skill, go to the next technique. Do that through basics. Go back and do 10 reps of all techniques. Then you go to phase 2, phase 1, same thing. 30 reps, come back and hit 10 reps of everything. Then maybe you hit 10 reps of basics in phase 1. That should take about 2 practices, maybe 3. Then you start into phase 2. Repeat. And pretty soon, you got the whole practice plan. And now you just keep drilling through the program. And